A new week has passed. We have the reset today, and things happened. Oh yeah, things happened. And listen, we don't want to focus this show on, happenings outside of the game, but it is quite important. And I feel like, due to our stance initially, like, some of the Blizz employees, I think with this shit kind of got the short end of the stick.
We kind of have to talk about. I mean, it's a little bit outside of our area, our continent. It is about island expeditions being solo queued.
No. Okay, so we're gonna stop on this subject just for a short bit.
It kind of has to be pointed out because it's just a little bit weird and a little bit concerning, but then again, also a little bit unreliable.
Yeah, well, just a couple of minutes on it, and then we go to the 9.1.5 stuff and cool things within the game. So, as shared by Axios, Activision Blizzard HR reportedly shredded documents related to the recent investigation. Now, this means complaints, letters, everything that was evidence,
stuff,
all of that. Yeah, complaints like all about the harassment and abuse and inequality and all of that. Also, the state of California has expanded its lawsuit against ActiBlizz, amending its complaints to add in temporary workers, who are also protected against harassment and receive equal pay opportunities. The amended complaint notes that the Department of Fair Employment and Housing, DFEH, that's right, was, quote, informed and aware that documents and records have not been maintained as required by law, while alleging that documents related to investigations and complaints were shredded by human resource personnel. Now, I've seen a couple of tweets from Blizz employees being outraged, and rightfully so. It's sad and infuriating if this is the truth, because if there was something Blizzard did not need,
is more negative PR.
Jesus, man, when will it ever stop? Can you just burn them all and get them the fuck out of there?
Yeah, it is a bit weird.
Fuck?
Obviously, Blizzard came out and denied the allegations. I mean, what else were they going to do? It was like, oh yeah, they're right. No. Because obviously, if it was, I kind of like to think that if it was true, they would have, made a scapegoat of the person or whoever did that.
As they usually do.
That person. I mean, somebody has to, take the fall, because otherwise, what are you gonna do? You cannot deny it unless it's maybe actually not true.
It's allegations. It has to be proven.
I mean, if you have to think about it. Okay, all blame to where the blame is supposed to go. Blizzard is not in a good state right now, and obviously pissed a lot of people a lot. So there's also a slight possibility that maybe somebody made this up. Now, we don't know for sure because obviously we don't have the actual data. We're just going on the information that we have. So there's been allegations and denial of allegations. But right now, even if this is not true, then people are, going out of the way to create bad publicity for Blizz. That just probably because it just sticks harder now with what's going on.
And it's also a domain on which we don't have a lot of expertise. It's just we're just reading through the lines here, and in between the lines, it's definitely something the Blizz employees definitely did not need, and nor did the company. We can go a little bit through the actual response from Blizzard. So this is like quoting, I think this is from Engadget. Throughout our engagement with the DFEH, we have complied with every proper request in support of its review, and even as we had been implementing reforms to ensure our workplaces are welcoming and safe for every employee, those changes continue today and include, now this is interesting, several high-level personnel changes. Of course they started out with this. Shall we remember Brack? Or, Luis Barriga from D4 lead and the big boy from HR? Yeah. Sure, okay. Revamped hiring and recruiting practices requiring diverse interview panels. I mean, again, this is something HR will control. Greater transparency on pay equity. Again, something I haven't seen anything related to, at least from, Blizz employees we follow. Expanded and improved training and investigative capabilities for human resource and compliance staff. Created investigation teams outside of business units to support greater independence. Now, I'm not sure if this is regarding WilmerHell, but fuck that. Restructured divisions to support greater accountability, enhanced review processes to include evaluation of managers by employees. This on paper sounds really good.
Yeah, it's very an elaborate way of rephrasing something very basic.
Come
well,
on.
obviously they have
very PR-ish.
I mean, I would probably formulate it the same if I was in their position, but that's not the point. The point is, we need a couple of examples. We have a couple of examples, especially with the restructured of the higher level departments with, the new president.
Yeah, Mikey Barra. And
So that's true. Like the other ones kind of need a little bit more detail, but obviously they would have had
let's
to
just
go
let's just go to the actual what they said in regards to the document shredding, because I think this is So with regards to claims that we have destroyed information by shredding documents, those claims are not true. Okay. We took appropriate step to preserve information relevant to the DFEH investigation. I see the devil is in the details here. Because let's read this again. Yes. Preserve information relevant. So this is something that the company would agree that would define relevant for the investigation.
Relevant needs definition, needs its boundaries defined because, well, I didn't think that was relevant.
Well, that being said, obviously you mentioned it, it's something they would definitely deny, but again, their allegations, they have to be proven. There has been talks about, the penalty that they would get because of this is, they would take the cost basically for doing this, for destroying evidence. But, the cost would be not that much for them. So shit, definitely not in a good light, but listen, we're not gonna sit on this subject. It is what it is. Let's talk about the game. So 9.1.5. I think it started off with a bang, dude.
Actually, this is pretty cool. New customization is something that was really. I mean, we know that we're playing an MMO with very limited customization when it comes to characters, and if you've played any other RPG, almost any other non-Blizzard RPG, you kind of know that why can I not make my eyebrows bigger or whatever. And after the revamp of the main races like orcs and stuff and night elves where they added a lot of stuff, prior allied races used to have the most amount of customization options, and we know that with Magar orcs and I guess to an extension Nightborne elves, but not really. I think Nightborne were kind of like
I made a Nightborne recently, and they're quite limited on customization.
Yeah, but that's the point. And now they've become like the least amounts, and now we have new for Lightforged and Nightborne. I mean, this is kind of cool. This is not what 9.1.5 is supposed to add, but it's nice that, the little things are being addressed as well, because, it's kind of little things.
Yes, and the more important thing here is, I don't know who this Linksy person is, probably a CM over there, but the communication is great. And I love it, and it's something that needs to be continued and improved upon, and maybe after all of this fucking mess settles, you can fund it a little bit better. I absolutely adore this. So, in terms of they communicating obviously on the forums and stuff, it's Linksy, the CM. There's also so in addition to the new customization options for Lightforge, Draenei, and Nightborne, 9.1.5 will also introduce other cosmetics such as ear size option for void elves, new travel forms for druids.
Oh my god, fucking finally.
And new soul shapes for Night Fae. And I do believe the soul shapes for Night Fae have become a really good thing. I mean, I know on my druid, I was kind of like pumped to get more and more.
This is
cosmetics, right?
Exactly, man. People want to feel and look different. We don't care if we have like fucking renown and X set or whatever. We just want to look different. We just
Yeah. And looking a little bit on what they posted right now. So obviously it's still work in progress. We did not get a lot of visuals, but the ones that we did have, at least from the backs of the Lightforge Draenei, it looks amazing. It has that zero. I don't know if you look at it. Zero vibe to it.
It reminds me a little bit of the Demon Hunter type patterns where they're very intricate, but obviously these have a different texture to them. It feels like they're like plated gold.
Yeah, there's forged into them, right?
It's probably some
Hunters have the tattoos, but this is looks metally and
their
stuff.
skin was burned by the lights.
Yeah. This is definitely going to be interesting to see. And also we have a screenshot for the Nightborne. With different facial, because this one when I made my Nightborne, I was looking at the options. They're so limited, especially on the face. And obviously we don't have any male models right now, but I'm pretty sure updates will come.
And they're probably kind of like counterparts, I suppose.
Yeah, probably. Overall, very good addition. Very good news for the upcoming content. And the most important thing here, the communication. I freaking love it. They also talked about the empowered conduits as well on Forest and personal.
Yeah, I know.
That's also to add points on the communication department. Maybe they got something out of all this mess, So, okay, this is pretty good. Now, this is something that I would like to just burn them a little bit, because we are talking about fire mages. So, Sun King's Blessing legendary for fire mages. So this legendary has been bugged since its inception. They took 10 months to finally address this properly. And lo and behold, after this legendary was fixed, at least in Mythic Plus, you will see the fire mages starting to dominate. But okay, let's talk about the legendary, right? Now properly activates after 8 hot streaks. It used to be 9, but the tooltip at 8. Nevertheless, Sun King's Blessings now properly gains stacks from hot streaks spent on Flame Strike was only for Pyroblast. Jesus. Sun King's Blessings now activates Combustion after casting a non-instant Pyroblast or Flame Strike. This was only Pyroblast. Now you can imagine all this Flame Strike additioning in would propel this legend, because it was a shit legendary due to its bugs. Now I think it's the best legendary for fire mages. And let's take a look at the response to the fixing in M+. Now, obviously, you can talk a little bit about the lags, the data you collected for this.
The thing is with the logs, this has to be implemented at the current reset, right? The logs might not have enough time to have been addressed, although Fire Mage is still one of the best DPS specs in M+, and if you've looked at any one of our previous tier lists, it wasn't currently at the top.
It took my sub-rogue away, man. My love. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that.
But it definitely seems to be doing a little bit better, and most likely, since this is the best legendary, the top fire mages are going to be rocking with it. Now, the most interesting part is to see how much they will climb the ranks, because right now they're a pretty bit ahead of Sub, because Sub was like king.
Yeah, it was.
But now Fire Mage are kind of offsetting them by quite a bit. It's still early in the patch, but it's likely that upon seeing the change, pretty much all the mages said, okay, let's go back to fire, and then, you know, Fire Mage has been played more and more and more, because Fire Mage was never particularly bad in M+, it was really bad in raids, and I think we have the logs for raids as well. I don't know if they're still
going through there right now.
The raids is still kind of
Okay, so on the raids, I have it here. It's interesting because you know, we'll do our due diligence and do the proper research when the Fire Mage guide comes up. I'm not sure if Sun Kings is gonna be best in single target too. I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter. The thing is, with raid logs usually update a little bit slower, because, you know, people have scheduled raid times, whereas they can do Mythic Plus almost at any time.
That's the thing. But so far so good. It's a welcome change, but I would also add to the fact that, you know, now, because the legendary is Bis, Fire Mage's mains will have to craft a brand new legendary, farm some new Torghasts, and that's shit. And I hope this message gets across. I really do hope 9.1.5 could address this in some way. So listen, we talked about this before. Let us have a goddamn disenchant on legendaries, man. Come on. I have dude.
They did the scrap in BFA, man, and that was
yeah,
good.
But that was good, but it's a little too late. We've been talking about this for ages. Just do it, man. Stop it with the fucking gating and, you know, locking the doors between everything. Now you made a great legendary for fire mages. Everybody and their mom, well, at least they would want to be a bit competitive, but is gonna have to make because nobody made this legendary. You have to understand, nobody made this. It was shit. Right? Now they have to bite the goddamn 150k to 62 item level thing. They have to farm their asses off in Torghast, you know, and then do all the dailies and stuff for what's it called? Not Soul Ash, the other one, Soul Cinders. It's just a fuck. I hope they didn't do that for this reason.
This is good. This is a perfect example as to what's wrong with the legendary system, the conduit system, the covenant system, and everything that you have to grind
and the failed opportunity for Torghast. Don't forget that.
Yeah, well, yeah, because when they add a grinding system that's basically capped, then you can limit the amount of grinding you do, and obviously you had to put the most amount of grinding into the current legendaries that were Bis, and now with this one, this was always what people were afraid ever since beta, when they said, okay, what if they just change the power around on all of these systems? Then I have to just grind all over again. Because this can very well happen with Covenants, where you have to grind all the Renown again. This can very well happen with Shards of Domination, because if one is like super strong and you've put all the Stygian Embers thing in it, or whatever that's called, and then another one gets buffed, it's like, oh, I have to put like 100 more Stygian Embers in? Jesus. It's too much. It's too much carrot on the stick grind, but you can only grind until you hit a freaking wall, because you're capped. You cannot grind until forever. Let's say you would have time, let's say It's like, man, I'm taking 2 days off work. I'm just gonna grind and have all the legendaries. No, you're just gonna grind until you hit a cap, and then you're gonna come back next week because the subscription time has to keep rolling.
Yeah. Well, that being said, I really do hope that 9.1.5 will have more updates and possibly address these things, especially with things happening with legendaries and who knows what else in the future. So please, come on. It's an easy win for this patch to be like awesome. I know it's a 0.5 and 0.5 patches usually are just system-based, but you know, that's the opportunity. Okay, just reverse.
The technology is there. They made the scrap mechanic in BFA where you take some that you don't need and you convert it into materials that you can use to build something that you do need.
What a win.
It's not something new.
What a win, man. What a win. Come on.
That was a good thing in BFA.
Yeah. All right, now, get this, boys and girls. Island expeditions are soloable in 9.1.5. What year is this? What? It's a good change, I know, and a lot of people ask for this, but do you? I mean, okay, so I know that people who are still like doing island expeditions are basically doing it for the mounts, right?
Mounts, cosmetics,
okay.
A lot of stuff.
Why hasn't this happened in BFA? What is this?
Same. I mean,
how do you comment this? I get it. It's a good change for people who want mounts, but
okay, I get what you're saying, but I mean, at the same time, how many single-player content do you want to have in an MMO?
Personally, that's a tricky question because
that's what I mean. Because you keep propagating this idea of like, okay, you don't need a group, and then you hit M+ and raise, like people are like, but I don't have a group. I didn't need a group so far, and I don't need a group now. So that's kind of like a trick. So they have to really pick a lane with this. Either make shit soloable or make something with a group.
I get where you're coming from, my man, because I remember 2017 when they talked about island expeditions. Oh, I know everybody loved Mage Tower, so we're doing this new cool thing where it's similar to Mage Tower.
It's fun that they put it in the same sentence, man, like they're just the same thing.
And yeah, but this is the thing, right? Now they make solo island expeditions. I think some of those seeds of, you know, the Mage Tower thing, island expeditions, maybe they want to translate it to this being soloable and doing, you know, further cosmetics and whatnot. Again, it came out of left field. It's interesting, but again, I don't know if this is the proper allocation of energy and resources, right?
This is something, okay, this is fine if it's in a 9.5 thing. Okay, 0.5 patch is just adding little pizzazz, like little extra stuff, little frills, little extra. Okay, and that's cool. And it's not bad, but not when the game is suffering from lack of content. Like, okay, sure.
Well, this is new content, baby.
Yeah. Well, are you bored with Torghast? Go back to islands. Everybody love that. And I get it. Like it's because then you have the people that say, well, what about this old content that doesn't mean anything nowadays, right? So making all content more accessible is good, not in the detriment of, you know, adding actual content, and not in a situation where the game is like, okay, I don't have anything to do except for my daily chores. Give me something to do. Oh, we're going back. This is a cheap way, and I get it. Maybe it's like crisis management. Maybe it's like, okay,
could be
quick. Let's get them some. Okay, let's make it soloable. Maybe they don't have. Maybe they're pressed with time. I'm like, okay, I get it. But prove to me that this is not a priority for you and that you actually have something on the line, something that's coming. And I honestly hope that that's the case, because obviously this is good, but in a vacuum, not in the context of the current game.
I would say overall, you know, apart from, you know, the new disaster with the Blizzard HR thing, good. Okay, this is good. This is promising. Okay, things are happening, and more important, things are being communicated to us, and I love this. I'm guessing that the feedback towards this is also good. I hope people are not, you know, just raging constantly on them. They know this is a good start. I know this is the problem with them. They always get a good start and then they fuck it up on the road. Remember, you know, Shadowlands Alpha and Beta, really good communication, then silence. So this has been for this week. I'm really curious. We're really curious to see what are your thoughts on all of these subjects. So in the comments, baby, you know, we like to chat there, or you can join our Discord and have a chat over there as well. Links under the description. And, you know, people that are not in the description but are on somewhere where we hire are our Patreons.
Thank you to the Patreons for supporting us. It's definitely a rickety time, and it's kind of a time where you can actually see who loves the game and not, because the game is still fun. Obviously, this is why we're here and we're still playing it, and we love it that you guys are supporting us and everything that we do. We're definitely putting the content out on our channel, and we love doing the guides. the tier lists, the
Yes.
mocasts, and the news as well. And
I would like to add that a lot of things will change around here for the better in terms of like content cadence, content diversity, and content quality, right? So this is going to happen. We kind of have like a plan in motion for this. So if you decide to support right now, the link is in the description. Really awesome things are headed towards the channel.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be definitely cool. And with that being said, we want to thank you for watching, sticking to us, and you have the rest of the week ahead. Great.
Yes. Thank you for sticking to us, like leeches.
Bye. Oh man, I fucked that.
I've been loving it then, I still love it now. Still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. Getting better every day, let me show you how. Cause still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. It's getting harder to stay, but at the end of the day, it's a guilty pleasure, so just log in and play. Whether it's classic or retail, I'ma do a /bow. Still, I play WoW.